Hi there, I'm Kim, and I'm going to take a few minutes to introduce you to the float process here at Sukhino. We know you're probably dying to get in the float tank, but this information is very important, both for your safety and for your enjoyment of the experience. First, let's talk about how to prepare for your float session. Before you head into your float suite, it's a good idea to run to the restroom if you haven't done so in the last 10 to 15 minutes. Nothing is worse than having to hop out mid-float to run to the restroom. Also, if you're wearing contact lenses, you might want to go ahead and remove those. We have solution and cases available in the ready room if you forgot yours. Now, when you enter the float suite, the lights come on automatically. It's motion detected and they're customized to whatever color you selected when you booked your appointment. First, you'll undress. There's no need to wear a swimsuit as it could bring pool chemicals or fabric dyes into the solution, and not to mention, they're pretty uncomfortable when that salt begins to gather. Be sure to remove any jewelry and place it in a little dish here on the bench for safekeeping. Now, let's talk options for music. Our float rooms offer a music track that was made specifically for helping you to relax during a float. You can choose to have it play at the beginning and the end only, so it's silent throughout your session. You can let the music play throughout the entire float session, or you can connect your own device if you brought one. Or lastly, you can listen to a guided meditation that will help you settle in faster. If you decide to use your own device, you'll connect it here on the little shelf outside the float tub. You'll find an auxiliary cord and an adapter that works for most devices. Be sure to crank up the volume as loud as it will go. You'll still be able to adjust the volume inside, but if your phone is too quiet, you won't be able to hear it at all. And you'll definitely want to set your phone on Do Not Disturb or airplane mode. Every ding and ping will play inside the tank, and that's not a relaxing time. Now let's talk about the shower. You're actually going to take 2 showers. The first one is all about getting your hair and body clean, so you're just going to use the first 2 products, the shampoo and body wash only. If you're wearing cosmetics or thick skincare products, use the makeup wipes or the cloth that's provided to remove it before or during your shower. Be sure to use the washcloth all over your body and scrub anywhere where you've applied products like deodorant. Wash the day away, get everything just as clean as possible. It's also a good idea to keep the water lukewarm. The shower head actually changes colors based on the temperature of the water. Blue is good, pink is okay, but if it turns red, it's really hot. And if you take a hot shower, you might feel a bit chilly when you get into float because the water and the air are both kept at 94 degrees. It's the same temperature as your skin, and if you stay still, you might even lose track of where your body ends and the water begins. It's a really cool sensation. Okay, before you step in the tank, take a look over at that little shelf in the corner. On there, you'll find earplugs to keep the salt water out of your ears. I highly recommend using those, especially if you tend to get swimmer's ear or have any other ear issues. We also provide a non-petroleum jelly that you can use if you have any cuts or scrapes or any areas of the body that tend to be really sensitive in salt water. Just apply a thin layer on the surface of the skin, and if you're not sure, you'll find out really quickly if you have any cuts or scrapes. Most of the time, the stinging goes away really fast, but if it doesn't, hop back out, take a quick rinse, dry that area, and then apply a thin layer of the jelly to prevent it from stinging. Now, after that first shower, there's no need to dry off, but you might want to use the towel that's hanging there just to dry your face. If you don't, you might feel the water dripping, and if you try to wipe it, if your hands are covered in salt water, well, salty hands make salty eyes, and it is not fun. All right, now for the good stuff. As you enter the float room, be sure to hold onto the grab bar on the side. While it might look like regular water, there's 1,100 pounds of Epsom salt in there. It's actually really silky, and that means that it's also really slippery, so move cautiously and slowly. Now you want your feet to go at that end, with your head here closest to the door. Take a moment first to get to know the controls inside. First, you'll see a light at the top of the wall, and it goes off automatically when your session begins. It comes back on at the very end. That's your signal that your session time is up. If you look down here, just above the surface of the water, you'll see 3 controls. If you press and release the white button, it will click and turn the lights off. If you barely tap it, it alternates through several colors so you can choose the one that best suits your mood. If you recall, the exterior room lights are motion detected, so they'll go off automatically. So you can choose to experience complete darkness by turning this underwater light off. If you're uncertain, just keep your hand there by the button until you feel comfortable. The next control is a black knob. Turn that left or right to adjust the volume of the music if you've chosen to listen to it. And if you've chosen music originally but you change your mind, you can even turn this so low that you likely won't hear it anymore. And the last thing to note here is an intercom. If you need anything, say like if that top light doesn't go off after the circulation jets stop, just press the white button and it'll buzz us up at the front so we can respond. Now, on the opposite side of the tank, you'll find a little basket. Inside is a bottle with fresh water and a washcloth. If you happen to splash around or if you do touch your face or your eyes, you can use that fresh water to rinse everything out. It's a good idea to use a washcloth if you have an itch because your hand is going to be covered in salt. Hopefully you've gotten that by now. Just above that basket, you'll find a blue or a white ring called a halo. You can put it behind your head like a pillow. With 1,100 pounds of Epsom salt, your body will float effortlessly, but the back of your head might start to drop down as your head feels heavy. This will keep it supported and prevent any neck strain. Okay, now let's chat about a few ways to make your float more enjoyable. Technically, there's no wrong way to float, except maybe belly down, face down if you don't have a pool noodle, but you'll probably want to try different positions to find what's most comfortable for you. You might like to have your arms behind your head, or reaching out towards the door behind you, or maybe one or both hands on your belly like you're laughing, or maybe you're a superhero about to take off, or maybe you just keep your hands out by your sides. You can even try a few yoga poses while you float. And lastly, some twists might feel nice as your spine starts to decompress. Now, one really important thing to know is that the whole idea here is to do nothing. That might be really challenging for you. It might also be really easy. And yes, it's perfectly okay to fall asleep in there. But if you find yourself feeling antsy and ready to get out, explore that a bit. Tune back into your body, maybe tense and release your muscles. Maybe try to watch your breath and count each exhale. Just know that you're in control. You can get out at any time, but we encourage you to stay until the end when the light comes on. And don't worry, if you do fall asleep, we can wake you. That light typically wakes everyone up, but we have other ways just in case. Now, know that you might need to come to your hands and knees before you stand up, and be sure to use that grab bar again as you slowly step out. When your float session is over, you'll take another shower to rinse off all of that salt water. For this one, you don't need to use body wash or shampoo again since you're still clean, but you might like to use the conditioner to moisturize your hair. You can also use the ear rinse that's there on the little shelf so that you can clear any salt water. Just hold it directly outside your ear, not in it, and squeeze. It's an alcohol and vinegar mix that you can also make at home if you feel like you have salt water stuck in there later. After you redress, just leave your towel, halo, earplugs, and any other items that you've used there in the shower. We'll take care of all of that. Feel free to pop into the ready room to dry your hair or just get ready to go. You can also stop in the lounge to grab a drink of water before you go. And now for the sad part, what to do when it's time to leave. If you're interested in checking out any options to come back again, stop by the front desk, or feel free to browse our self-care products on the way out. Most importantly, be sure to say bye to Red the fish before you go. All right, now enjoy your float. If you have any questions, please be sure to ask your salt tender as they show you to your suite.